in-game commentary team, D-Man and WTF Moses.
Thank you very much, Cami and Jurasar. And indeed, we are in the air. And just like last night, Moses, we have ourselves a pretty poor plane to open things up. It is going to be cutting across Lipovka and right down to Sosnovka. It's going to cause a lot of problems for all those Georgia Bowl teams. And even, I guess, it's long dropping for Pachinki and Rozhok at this rate.
Yeah, absolutely. And these plane paths, sometimes they get a little bit more harsh as far as the angle is concerned. But at least in this case, getting to the eastern side of the map is more important for many of these teams. But like you said, that Gatka, Georgia Bowl area is going to be hard to get to. So Pachinki will be the midpoint. Luckily for Method, they'll have an easier time getting there. But for TSM, it looks like they're going to be jumping down to Primorsk, something that they're not normally used to. I imagine they're going to be looking for vehicles to try and get up to that North George area. But again, they'll have to be on their toes here to try and get to the spot where they want to loot.
So let's see what sort of problems it caused. Of course, we can talk about teams like Method last night who had yet another great night and got so close to taking the Stream.me in PUBG Invitational. FaZe, of course, pipped them at the post, but Method definitely came very close, and Andy Pyro ended up sharing the MVP alongside Yempty. So they're both the Finns, exactly, the Finn killers, 36 kills each between them, 72 kills over the 4 weeks. Here we do. See everybody dropping. Everybody's trying to find a vehicle. Eki's actually just thinking, I'm going in the shack. I'm just going for the shack. Why not? I guess he's realized he's dropping with everyone around him. Yeah.
So he's going to have the option to take some shots, actually doing some decent damage there. Almost taking, I didn't see the nameplate there. It was Suntouch almost going down on the motorcycle. But yeah, jumping for the pistol, opting to try and defend for those vehicles. But right now, Erky's kind of in no man's land.
Yeah, he is dropped well out of place, but let's see if he can join the rest of his team. Digital Chaos, of course, we've seen them spreading out. He's taking shots now, and no doubt about it. As soon as you take a pistol shot in the open like that, I mean, landing basically in that shack puts him in no man's land immediately. Fausto and Yokis off the side there from Digital Chaos. They drop in and around Rozhok school apartments. They've decided to take this entire zone. So it's really a big area for him to cover. So even if he gets to here and maybe gets to school, there's still problems that he could run into as he reaches Rozhok.
No doubt. And with Digital Chaos swarming around the apartments and school area, getting Erky out of here is going to be difficult for the rest of his team. So for now, it's going to be a matter of him playing solo. And it looks like the school is open, but he doesn't know that. And we see our first circle nice and central, potentially leading to a Pachinki area finish. So for now, Erky might be okay to stay safe and let his team loot around the extremities, which is what they're doing right now.
Oh, so the Imperial are challenging them. That's what I like to see. But yeah, well, I mean, he's way away from his team. The Uncharged, obviously, up there from Zuklatnan. The guys looked like they were trying to head to North Georgia Bowl. I'm not too sure exactly where they're going to go. We'll see. Continue on their path. One, of course, in their standard area. Let's give you a quick rundown of the teams. Obviously, they just called them out a moment ago, but let's give you the numbers. Brexico looks like he's been taken down from the new Penta team, formerly Exalt Gaming. But team number 3 is FaZe Clan. Team number 4 will be the Knights. You can see them over there in the Povka, etc. Rogue is team number 5. They're down in Sosnovka. Standard stuff for them. Vitality, of course, in Milta. They are team number 6. Method is team number 7. They are in Pachinki. Diamond Dogs, team number 8. Now, they've kind of been spreading all over the place at the moment. I'm trying to actually track them down. Where the hell are they? Oh, there they are. Okay, they're in the effectively Cloud9 territory is kind of where they're going at the moment, in and around. They're very close to FC Espo, actually. Where did I get to? Team number 9 is TSM, of course. Standard normally is between the two spawns, which is obviously Yasnaya and Georgipol. Either would have been a problem. Interested to see where they're going to go because Team Liquid are in this lobby, who themselves own the Yasnaya, and you can see they're in there as well. Team number 10 is Penta Esports, formerly Exalt. Okay, so TSM down in Ferry Pier. They did this last night. Team number 11 is Alliance. Team 12 is Zukt et Nam. 13 is Digital Chaos. 14, FC Ispu. 15 is Or1. 16 is Lumbermill. Interested to see if they've gone all the way up to Severny, because they're a Severny team. The plane did not help them out for that one. Team Liquid, of course, is Team 17 are in Yasnaya. And the Imperial are Team 18. They are currently in Rozhok.
You just mentioned TSM's looting strategy. Yes, that Ferry Pier area. It's kind of a trash loot strategy. I'm not saying that, it's the worst place ever, but it is what they were handed. So I'm liking the new TSM strategy of being flexible rather than trying to force a loot spot. So Yes, Fairy Pier nowhere near as good or near the density of Northern George, but they should have the opportunity to get at least slightly looted, and they'll have an easier path into the edge of the first circle. So for TSM, Fairy Pier not optimal, but at least it's an option.
Certainly an option. See whether they're going to go for anything. That crate is, well, it's an interesting one. It gives you a sniper suppressor along with M249, but it does have a tier 3 vest in. Sadly, Moses, no tier 3 bag.
Indeed, it's one of those situations where, it could have been a lot better. The tier 3 bag, arguably the best item in the game. So fancy, D-Man.
Fancy indeed. Right. I mean, the circle is the central circle. There's not a lot to talk about with this circle. It's actually a pretty decent one for just about everyone. Nobody can complain about rotations. Tommy's making his way across. That's the Diamond Dogs, who had mixed results last night, of course, along with Lux. Going to be joining up. Calvin Klein playing for them as well. Simsy now actually trying out for, whether it's with Digital Chaos now or not, I don't know, but he's gone over there. Here comes Rogue coming over the bridge early, making sure they don't get locked in over onto Sosnovka. They have started to rotate earlier and earlier, I've noticed, Rogue, which is something I really like from them. We saw last night they were consistently placing well. I think they finished 3rd overall in the lobby last night as well. So really well played from Rogue there. Obviously made adjustments. They had so much success as Air Station Mike, which obviously got them picked up by the Rogue organization. And then they've kind of had that stutter, effectively, as they joined the organization. So finally, they're starting to post some results. Keep your eye on AMPR because he's the scout at the moment. Ordinarily, it's Smack, but AMPR looks like he's doing the scouting today as he's found himself a 2-seater for TSM.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention, actually, that's a great call out for Rogue. They have, and it seems that it happens a lot with teams that get picked up, is they have this kind of post-pickup lull where maybe they relax a little bit, or maybe it's even the reverse end where the pressure of being under a banner like Rogue makes it a little bit more difficult to perform. But for the new Rogue team, they have had a bit of a bounce back, and the flexibility in how they've changed their style has really led to that increased performance. So it's interesting to see them kind of come back into their own after getting picked up and seeing that success continue like they had with Air Station Mike.
Well, the Knights are a team that finished in 2nd place overall. Let's see if they can perform in the finals. They're certainly a team that knows how to get involved in the action. They've got themselves all 4 together, and as far as I'm aware, they are actually in Romania boot camping as well for, obviously, GLL next week. I think they're in Romania. I believe they are. As a force. So, and along with Ghost, they're not in Romania Ghost themselves, so you'll see them later on. Obviously, the North American finals will be played later on tonight. But the Knights are going to move a little earlier, and more importantly, as a 4. Often they will send an early scout, and teams have started to stop doing this now.
Yeah, the early scouting is a situation where you can definitely get a nice compound early, but you run the risk of having your scout caught out by those who've centered before you or happen to be in that area, depending on the playing path. As we see Alliance engaging with the Knights, Fever taking a couple of shots, losing the helmet almost immediately, takes one between the eyes, and now he's having to duck down as the Knights are arriving in force above him. So this is the situation where Alliance has one set up as a scout, but is now alone, does not have any backup to help him out, at least right now. So the Knights, having spotted him out, they have a nice hillside cover here, but the rest of Alliance is not there to help their teammate, but they are on the way. As we see most teams now headed to the center of the map, FCE as well as Zokt and Nam still outside in their looting spots, but here comes the rest of Alliance, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a war of attrition between these two teams in the early game.
Yeah, so Alliance getting themselves all 4 members in there. Interesting that FaZe have actually gone fairly central. They're in and around the woodland hills there, and again you can see Haxedi's just getting towards that yellow compound, so they've just scouted it out. Looks like everybody's going to join them. One of their favored compounds. Vitality coming in fairly late, as you would expect. They are usually pretty slow, and the George Bowl guys, they're probably going to be the latest, because remember, they had such a horrific plane. If you just joined us, the plane cut across Lipovka down to Sosnovka, so anybody that had to go north has had a bit of an arduous journey, so expect them to loot a little bit longer. So outside of Lumbermill guys that are still up in Severny, FC Uspo got 1 guy out wide. Everybody else is getting central. It is a pretty big circle, and we should talk about circles because obviously they've been as I say that, Knights actually just got one knocked and finished off. Sims there from Digital Chaos taking down Survivor.
So this was now Digital Chaos arriving above the Knights. Just a unfortunate circumstance for the Knights now finding themselves pinned between Alliance in the houses and Penta and Digital Chaos up in the hills with Simsy. So now it's a situation for the Knights. They've already lost one. They're going to have to kind of go into a defensive shell here. You can already see them kind of congealing. So maybe they'll jump in that vehicle and maybe try and relocate here a little bit earlier. But for now, all eyes are headed towards Digital Chaos from the Knights.
Monkey having a little peek over towards him as well, seeing if he can land some shots. He was massive last night. If you missed it in the Stream.me PUBG Invitational Finals, he almost single-handedly in a 1v4 wiped out Team Liquid. Just got knocked in the last by Scoom, who, speaking of Liquid, James is actually on a bit of a wild path up north. But here's Yempty from FaZe, 36 kills in the tournament for the Stream.me. Let's see what he can do tonight. He's got 8 games to prove himself, see if he can continue to be one of the highest kill scorers, as they do try to reposition just south of school. And I was talking about James, he's actually ran straight into the Imperial.
So for James, he's playing that scouting role, something we talked about a little bit earlier. He's come now to the water tower area just outside of Razak, and he's getting tons of pressure. And he actually takes down Suntouch. That's good for him. Now having to turn back, looking at Cloudtail and Opchi pushing him on the top of this hill. James is going to have his work cut out for him.
He's geared up. He's ready for this one. He's got tier 3 outfit. He's just took OP down to absolutely nothing. Has to drop down and heal himself up. You can see tier 3 helmet. He's got himself a decent amount of meds, so he really doesn't want to lose this situation. Where's the support coming from, though? He's managed to knock out and deal with Suntouch. And as you said, Pride's going to try and go for the...
Might have the time.
Flank. He's got the heal off. Got to peek around. Cloudtail goes for the push. Gets a double peek on him. He's going to have to go towards Cloudtail. He will get knocked. And surely that is going to be the finish of James. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get joined and supported by his team. And that's the danger of having that scout role. You do sacrifice yourself, and to lose a member before the second circle is even completely initiated is pretty bad for the Team Liquid boys.
And that's a huge call to D-Man. Really, the ability to maintain 4 up in this game is we actually see Liquid getting very close to the Knights now, both in their vehicles, just to the north there, as we see Cup of Magic taking some pressure. So now Liquid and the Knights are actually right next to each other in rotation. That scout strategy, especially after the initial loot phase, is super dangerous. You got to wonder the call there going for James to go to Razak, which would most likely be occupied by a team trying to loot. But that's one early loss for Liquid.
You know, Aki's managed to keep himself alive. He's in school. And Zuktetnam, the man we were following right at the start. Here's Dingerabs from the same team, trying to blast his way into Sunway, getting lit up by FaZe, I think. TSM, actually. TSM, it's parallel lines being drawn across the map by TSM as they track Dingerabs, but he does manage to get away with it. Cup of Magic did get finished off by Ultras there from the Diamond Dogs. Alliance did have Vitality tracking behind him, and VZ looks like he's pulled up to take a couple of shots on towards him, but they're going to get themselves in that compound just to the south as this circle. It took a fairly severe swing, I would say. You can see it's gone down to the far southwesterly corner of the initial circle. It did pull away quite heavily, and it does, of course, mean the hills of Pachinki are the center point, and FC Espo got themselves a good compound.
This area of the map is very easy to get situated in the second portion of the game. So now having these teams taking over this compound will lead to a lot of edge teams being stuck. So now we can see Digital Chaos engaging again, staying super active here, going right at 1. That's I'm Larry Niels, Razmiki, and Mika's down below. So this is an interesting spot for Digital Chaos. Either they can push over into Pachinki and expose themselves, or they can try and hold this area here and try and maybe erode the team of 1. But it looks like they're going to opt to get away from them.
Looking at any other rotations, still the teams coming in late. Of course, that is the Lumbermill boys going in towards Everest. They're looking to survey their territory before they move down to Gakko. Oh, is that dash you're going to make it? Oh, just about. Give it all. This must be the GTI version of the dash.
And now down the other side. So for Gustav, looking like they're going to want to set up a potential spot inside the zone, or maybe grab the yellow cabins there. There's not a lot. Gatka's still in the circle, but playing the edge will mean a harder transition. So being center is the idea, but it looks like Lumbermill is going to be a little bit too late for that. The Knights now showing up right on top of Zokta and Nam, or at least the remnants of. So Voxic in the lead vehicle, immediately taking pressure.
Yeah, wide rotation from them, right? We saw them obviously on the hillside in and around with FaZe and with Digital Chaos. So they've gone all the way around over the bridge, north of Rozhok, and back in effectively over the eastern bridges of Georgopol. And now we're still seeing them not able to find a home. That really awesome compound is actually open at the moment. I don't know whether he's going to go for that. The one north of Chopsticks, just to the west of TSM. He's sort of circling around. I think he may actually go to the bottom end of Chopsticks by the looks of it, the way he's the route he's taken. So looks like he will actually, no, he's going to go swing around and have a look at it. If he goes any further, he'll run into TSM. But this is the compound I'm talking about. It's got decent hills. You can see just the amount of defilade all around the compound. It's a really strong compound to defend.
No doubt. And with TSM so close, this is not a situation where it's going to be easy for them to transition into that next zone if it hard shifts all the way to the east. But for the Knights, this is a situation and a team they want to be next to. TSM, while improving as of late, still struggles with team fighting. So we'll see how the Knights react. They only have, it looks like, 3 on site right now, having lost one of their team members earlier to Digital Chaos. So we'll see how these two teams kind of interact with each other, as there's not a lot of distance separating them.
Liquid and the Diamond Dogs, yeah, it's just been spotted down on the side here, very close to one another, just off the edge. The circle has took another hard shift, hasn't it? It's gone deep south. It's headed down the side there. Calvin Klein trying to scout out. Scoom's pulled up right behind him. He hasn't noticed. He's too busy trying to fire at his teammate. And Scoom hops off his bike and deals with Calvin Klein. Ultras, meanwhile, is going to be taking shots at Scoom. Scoom will go down. He's going to get no revive there. It looks like Calvin Klein will bleed out as well. So Liquid lose 2 now after losing James earlier on as the rotates continue.
So that is another tough loss for Liquid, looking to try and get situated. And look at this side of the map, as everyone now having to rotate on this hard shift. Break and TSM leaving first, AIM-PR going down immediately. FCE is taking shots at all these transitioning vehicles. Even FaZe is in the mix, smack in the middle of Wookie Bookie and the transitioning FaZe. So for TSM, I think they're getting sandwiched. We see Samty getting finished off, and now it is Break +1, probably Rory in that 3-seater motorcycle, just trying to get safe, and they are taking pressure from all sides.
I believe that's Liquid going down. I believe they are the first team out. I see it's gone down to 15 teams. Liquid were down to 2 already. They've got 1 alive. Okay, Ibiza's still alive out there. I'll let him off. They've survived somehow. Someone's been obliterated. I don't really know who, but Jafeli and Lumbermill boys trying to get in there. The Uncharged does manage to get himself Eki inside and going to get revive on him. I did see also AIM-PR got taken down in the rotates there for TSM. So a number of clashes, and it's inevitable, right? When you see that many people having to transverse all the way down the west side. They've all tried to find a home. It's still a decent amount of space, but there's a lot of farm fields in there now, so the cover's starting to become a little less, and we're seeing these teams starting to post up in these hills like Lumbermill here.
Lumbermill having the open space to just kind of move around is going to be good for them from a flexibility standpoint, but we'll see how they manage this going into this next transition. There's not going to be too much map pressure on their side. That western side has actually cleared out relatively nicely, with everyone who was transitioning getting into the circle. TSM did take a bunch of casualties, but is still, well, actually 3 up now that I see that. It's only AIM-PR being finished. So managing to get through that. Alliance in the same boat. But for the Knights, they seem to be having the hardest time getting situated in the new zone and continue to take that tick damage that is going to be very difficult for them to deal with later on.
The Diamond Dogs, they've dealt with Liquid. Now where else they go? They got themselves a crate as well. No. Ultras, did Ultra just turn around and go, hang on a minute? Yes, he did. He's going to go back and have a check of that one to see what he's going to get. Oh, that's a nice one. AWM Tier 3 vest scope. Oh, that's a really nice crate. No suppressor, but I don't think they're going to be too worried about that. The question is, will he go back and get it? He's just having a look. It's inside.
Thinking real hard about it. I think he's worried about maybe Vitality having a line of sight to him. It isn't a bit of defilade there. He might be able to sneak over and grab that, but it's a risk-reward system right now, and this is the finals. So right now, Ultra, I think, erring on the side of conservatism. He can smell it. He can see it. He's looking back. He's got that level 3 helmet already. So we'll see if he mans up and runs back there to grab it. But for now, it looks like he's just going to be sitting there sad, looking at the smoking crate behind him.
Well, the rest of his team are nearby, and he knows there's nobody else back there. I guess he's just a little cautious of where Liquid went to, because Ibiza, of course, was involved with them. Still 50 people alive as the fourth circle's about to pop. Let's see where it's going to go. There is one member creeping in behind the Knights as my dog decides to bark. She never barks.
She's excited.
What's going on, Moses? She's barking at you, man.
She's excited. She wants to know if he's going to get the crate or not. So Vitality on the rotate now as well. Shiv coming to a stop. All right. I think Shiv is as confused as what happened as we are. But Vitality grabbing this little lip to hold on to on the edge of the zone. Vitality opting for the full edge strategy as Ultra and company now transitioning, leaving the crate behind. TSM can see them driving past, but do not have line of sight to open fire, not wanting to bust out of the shack. Alliance is there as well. So now it's going to be up to Lux. He's had to stop, I think, maybe taking a little bit too much damage. Ultra as well. You can see all the lines headed his direction.
No shacks. They're all looking for shacks to go into. Tommy's just come around there and realized TSM have got two members in there as well, so he's going to post himself outside. Now, he could try and pop a nade, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get wiped out. I think it was Gustav in the end from the side. Smack, of course, over on there as well. He will do the damage. FC Eastbo have lost 2 in the crossfire, and this is the problem. When it's in these big farm fields, everybody wants to get in these shacks. Rogue, of course, got in this complex a long time ago and haven't had to move too much. You can see that Digital Chaos are trying to come down the fields in towards him. They got 2 in the shack, so they should be okay. Looks like there's enough smoke for help. Yoki's, but he got a headshot, and he got took down. It was 8C. Yeah, where is Method? Oh, they're on the hill. They're coming down the hill.
Yeah, it's Method coming in with the pinch. Andy knocking one down. Now 2, I think they've got Fausto basically caught out as Digital Chaos all of a sudden in complete disarray. Simsy, I believe the last man standing. We did see Diamond Dogs getting eliminated in their transition. Method coming out of nowhere and completely eviscerating all of Digital Chaos.
So Lumbermill having to make their way down the hills. Meanwhile, the Uncharged here for Zukletnam has Gustav close and personal. Has a decent amount of cover. There's going to be Lumbermill passing by as well. He's going to try and use that to back away as Lumbermill, all support, all 4 members get in there. They blow their own vehicle up, so they should be safe now. FC Eastbo in the bunker just behind them, or the shack as you want to call it. And Zukletnam, they're not in the circle at the moment, so they have to make this open run. Uncharged is going across the wheat fields, straight in the open, trying his best to find any defilade he can as he goes on his belly. And you can see, in the distance, FaZe Clan.
So this open field ending is very problematic for teams on this western edge where it's only small hills, little bits of cover. So we have 2 teams trying to get in, Zokding Nam and the rest of Lumbermill, who are still trying to get in roughly the same spot, but they're all getting pressure. Uncharged getting knocked and now in lots of trouble and likely going to be finished off by FaZe, who has a great spot in this compound. And you can see here, this is what they're having to work with, almost no cover, and having a team like FaZe looking down at you like that is not a good situation.
Yemty looking for those backpacks, and he tier 3 will put himself out there, looking to see if he can try and find anything. Haxetti with the AKM, just all of FaZe basically staring down. Meanwhile, over the right-hand side here, Vitality are trading blows. They're trying to get any damage they can as they pull up and try and jump out the side here. Stab and Andy Pyro get themselves inside the circle. They've gone for a 2-2 split. The rest of Method have stayed on the edge of the circle, so they're going to smoke it up and see if they can cover themselves off, maybe even blow their own vehicle up there as the 5th circle will ever slightly decrease. 1 also in there. It's gone right on top of Andy Pyro. It means that FaZe Clan have to move. It means that Lumbermill have to move. It means that TSM are just about inside with their little cover. Ibiza has to move. Rogue have to come out of their cover as well. Everybody is about to go into the open field. The only thing in there is basically the shack that TSM are in, and I think the one that Alliance have got themselves in. Method have made their own shack, but that smoke isn't going to dissipate soon. Look at that cover. There's nothing here, and no, there's 37 people alive.
Yeah, for now, this transition is going to dictate who is going to make it into the end game. We can see Alliance now trying to coalesce there in the middle of the field. And FaZe already on the move, sending one to the shack with FCE there. And they were going to do a hard press. 1 goes down, 2 down. That's Digger taking 2 down from FaZe.
Massive result there for FC Eastbo. They're down on numbers, but that is an absolute mow down from Digger. heard, I can't remember who it was watching. It was something on the Hot Drop GG the other day. They were talking about Digger, how good a player he is, and certainly performing there. Obviously, the captain and shot caller for FC Eastbourne. Missy, meanwhile, in the shack of his own. He needs to get moving soon enough. But Lumbermill, they're taking damage. Kaint is down. He's going to get revived. Gustav's took a hit as well, so he meds himself up. This is the battle they've been having with Zuktet Nam and FaZe, the remaining members of FaZe Clan. They're off in the distance, and Mexi will get the down on Gustav as they try and push through the smoke.
Gustav going down is going to be difficult to res. Nothing going to happen there. Missy is there. Trifley has the disadvantage, having FaZe Clan looking at him as well as Missy. Missy jumps out and actually goes down. So that's nice work there as Kane finishes him off with the motorcycle.
Digger trying to see if he can get anything else. FaZe Clan causing problems. Digger's basically, he's a gatekeeper for so many teams right now. It's crazy. Who'd have thought? Smoke, meanwhile, over the other side. TSM getting pushed. Break is down and out. Rory. And they've been sieged and pushed by Vitality here. Up in the hillside. They're dealt with Smack as well. Monkey manages to get him down. And now Rory, unfortunately, is probably going to get naded out. The smoke's being pushed out to try and revive their teammate. Do they realize that Rory is still alive in there? I guess they do, because Smack didn't instantly go down. There's another handy nade. Rory! It takes the door off. Doesn't quite do enough. He's still alive. Just. There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of nades. The thing is, how accurate can you be in a nade with that much smoke? There we go. TSM go down in 11th place.
And actually, very quickly after, so does FCE as FaZe. I think it was just eliminated as well. I couldn't quite tell if that was a finish or not, but yes, FaZe actually, no, Hax is still there. So for now, this is the circle that's going to dictate the end game, like we mentioned before. And Vitality's done a good job of clearing out TSM. Abyss is still holding on for Liquid, but now the cover is very few and far between as Hax has to jump up and use, I believe, the crate for cover. Oh, it's not in either.
It's nothing really. It's a Mark 14. He doesn't want that. He's going to have to keep on going. We'll get inside. Never discount FaZe's ability to belly crawl into the top 5. It happens all the time. But look at this. Andy Pyro and Stab, they made this move early on, and they're the only people in the center circle right now. They have themselves a Dacia and Smoke. That's all they managed to position themselves with as they get in there. But now Andy Pyro has been knocked. They're getting charged. 4 members of Rogue are coming across. Yannick trying to blast in. He's going to get lit up by Stab as he tries desperately to defend his captain. The rest of Rogue trying to push around, trying to take it a little more delicately. The direct approach didn't work. Stabs gets caught, and he will go down. And now both members of Method will be down. They still have 2 alive. 1 alive, sorry. Chris over in the distance, but Rogue have done a really good job at sieging and getting in the circle. Voxic also in the circle, but he's got Digital Chaos coming up behind him, and FaZe also go down in 8.
Here comes Puffins. Better watch out.
No wheels.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting strategy, but does not pay off for him as Rogue loses 1. And you got to wonder for Method, as we see, that's, I believe, Method being eliminated. Why they used all those smokes when they entered the zone, maybe didn't have anything left to cover that res.
You see, everybody's using desperate vehicles because there's no cover in this area. But Vitality still have 4 alive right now as they dealt with Method, who went down in 7th place. Alliance over in that shack have been spotted. They look like to be the next victims. Trying to peek across. They know that Rogue are in the distance there because they've already took some shots, but there we go. Rogue actually getting involved on Wookie Bookie. So Rogue are getting pushed by Digital Chaos from behind. Voxic is keeping an eye on them as well in the field. Ibiza from Liquid is still alive. The rest of Liquid were wiped out so long ago, but he's belly crawling his way through the fields towards the battle between Alliance and Vitality.
Well, it feels like a beast has been on his belly for the last 15 minutes here. He's crawling past the siege that's happening right on top of Alliance. As Vitality is playing with a huge amount of confidence right now. They're playing out in the open, spread out. They're looking at Alliance. They're trying to eliminate them as quickly as possible. Vitality looking to try and secure this side of the zone all for themselves.
Roxace trying to do the damage. They're trying to get some more shots. They get a glimpse on towards Alliance. Has to go down low, though. Fever also swinging out wide along with Meter. I can see there's another member of Vitality. It's Shadow swinging really wide here, but he's back on his belly now. Ibiza still crawling in between the 2 of these. He's just off the left there, coming through the smoke. Has to get up, though, because the circle's pushing him. And now he's going to have to go for a bare-ass naked run straight in towards Vitality. But Vitality getting down by Rogue here. Jazza lighting up Shadow, landing the shots as he needs them. Ibiza does go down in 6th place for Liquid. The Knights are still in the top 5 as well, as they've managed to keep Voxic alive. Ewan starting to spread out, looking for Trifoli, who's trying to tank out the meds there for Lumbermill. He's trying to heal up what he can. The battle between Alliance and Vitality seems to be petering out, and it's Rogue that seems to have the lion's share of the position, and the circle goes to Alliance.
So another hard shift going to the south. Rogue actually basically stopped that push for Vitality, trying to put pressure onto Alliance. Both teams down to about 2 players apiece, I believe. Actually, Rogue still with 3, Vitality still with 3. But this is now favoring Alliance, but they're in the low ground, so they have to be very careful not to allow Rogue to get any downs.
Rogue, Ewan trying to stand high, and the problem is there's 4 members of Alliance all lying prone in that bush. Anyone that stands and silhouettes in the distance in these fields will get hit. Yannick takes a big shot. He has to go down and med himself up. Jazz is trying to come across. They're trying to flush out anybody that's in these bushes. You can see he's just shooting every single bush he can find and see if he can hope to see a blood splat of any kind. Meanwhile, this is happening. It's obviously giving now Vitality the chance to return a little bit of fire back to Rogue. Voxic, he's just staying prone. He's ignoring this. He's actually still inside the circle as well, Voxic. So the Knights could find themselves in the top 2 somehow.
The Knights, well, at least for Voxic, are very keen to stay perfectly still, but he's in the low ground position as well. Rogue very interested in the location of Alliance, but Vitality is slowly trying to get closer to Rogue. They are getting into the zone, and now they have a line. So Rogue, having only able to pressure one direction, now has to deal with Vitality coming back to haunt them.
I love the fact that Monkey stood behind this basically twig of a tree. It's really not going to give him off any cover, but he still feels safe just ducking left and right either side of it, just trying to offer any little bit of cover that he can block. Yannick standing proud and taking shots. Jazz are also on the push. Ewan's going to move in. He can see all the knocks. Vitality Shadow taken down. Meter also knocked, but Ewan gets knocked in the process. He tries to run forward. They're going to get around the side. Jazza has to duck down. He does manage to get a knock, but then he gets taken down. Yannick, the last man standing for Rogue right now as they try to push in his final 4. He's actually outside the play zone. He's tanking it through. Now he's going to have to get up and run. Surely the shots will come. Yannick doing what he can to keep his team in it, while Alliance and Vitality still have 2 members alive.
This suddenly feels like it's going to be an Alliance Vitality finish here, unless somehow maybe Voxic pulls something out there. But regardless, it's Yannick now, the last man standing for his team. I think they did. Oh, and as I say that, he's eliminated by Alliance. So now it is going to be Alliance versus Vitality. Alliance does have a nice little piece of cover, but that's a centered final zone, and Voxic is still lurking.
Voxic is still lurking, and the thing is, he could creep in because Alliance are going to be staring at Vitality here. They know they're fighting each other now. They can see they're already positioned themselves. Alliance have the circle. Vitality need to move into it. Voxic can just keep on belly crawling. But the problem is, he doesn't realize that. He has no idea. He just sees 5 alive, and he's thinking, okay, I must be in a good position right now for my team, but not too sure exactly how far, how high. Fever, meanwhile, he's probably thinking he may be in a 1v4, actually. But now he's hearing the shots. He knows he's up against something. That's going to be a shot from the Monkey. He actually saw the player, but couldn't land the shot there onto VZ. VZ, meanwhile, getting flanked here by Shiv. Shiv's getting an angle on the head. The silhouette's coming through, but he doesn't manage to land any of the shots.
So right now, Alliance is just trying to use this advantage of the little ridge they have before the circle starts to close. They know that once this circle forces them out into the open, it's going to be very difficult to get downs and knocks onto the Vitality players. So Alliance is looking to try and pick something up. It looks like Shiv has been spotted. A couple of shots landing. That's a great pickup for Alliance.
Just Monkey remaining. He's managed to get... Is that Voxic? Did Voxic just get involved? Gets around the side, and now it's Alliance versus Knights. Where is Voxic? He's still over on the side. He's managed to crawl his way. No, Voxic's on down. Okay, so Monkey is the last man. He's got the knock already. He's looking. Fever's on absolutely nothing, but he got the revive through. Does he realize it? If only he had a nade right now, one single nade would finish this in a deal. He thinks he's looking across the side there. Because Voxic got involved, he's now looking to draw the fire, and he's not too sure exactly where it came from.
So now Monkey in a position where he's going up against players who do not appear to have any meds left. I think that's an interesting wrinkle now for Alliance. No heals coming out, but the shots return, and he will go down. Alliance taking game number 1, and that was down to the wire. They had barely any health left, but wow, holding on to that circle position really helped them, D-Man.
Yeah, they kind of had that little shack, and they were in it for a long time. But my God, did they hold on. And that's probably the first chicken dinner I remember for Alliance in a long time. What a time to deliver it. The first game of the finals. Let's see if they can carry that momentum forward, because that is a really nice start from them. Rogue themselves also had a good kill score in there, which probably will boost them maybe into second or third place. So really well played from all of those. The big surprises, obviously, is probably the teams that are down there. You look towards the TSMs down in 11th place. Outside of that, Digital Chaos down in 14th after having a decent season so far. And FaZe, of course, in 9th place. Let's get over to the desk. I believe they are ready and waiting to take us through. Actually, we can go to a break first before we hear from them, so they can collect their thoughts on the chaos that just happened. 41 alive as we moved into the farm fields, whittled down to just 2. We'll be back after the break.